They always run after practice. We always run. That's just we got a lot of position running that we do. So it's kind of, stuff we track, from a conditioning standpoint. But we always run after practice. Some groups do, some groups don't. It really depends on the position group, and then you got your team stuff from time to time that we do. Yeah. I mean, we haven't named enough starting line, but I'm starting to, feel pretty good about, where we are right now heading into next week. So, we'll watch this tape, and then we're gonna meet this afternoon, and we'll get through all of it tonight and tomorrow with the team. And when they come back in here on Sunday, we're gonna start doing some, really opponent prep. We'll put a couple days in on Furman. We'll spend Sunday, Monday really kind of putting a little bit of work on them, because we get back here, we play Labor Day night, and that's Saturday for us, but it's Monday for the rest of the world. So, we roll in here about 4:30 in the morning, and you wake up the next day, it's Tuesday, and you play against Saturday. So that's a really tough challenge. So we've done all of our preliminary work as coaches, but we need to really prepare the team and get a good foundation, so when we do come in on that Tuesday, they're not starting from ground zero. We need to have some type of foundation and working knowledge. So we'll spend, some Sunday, Monday on Furman and on Clemson, kind of a combination of that, because it'll be, double day on Monday, tough day. It'll be some live work, but also, doing some separate and doing some game prep, and then Tuesday we'll go all Georgia Tech, and then Wednesday they get to school, and we go from there. So we're in a good spot. I can't remember what was yours. Oh, the line. Yeah. So I was going to tell you, we'll finalize our personnel once we watch this tape, and then we get back into our game prep mode Sunday. Then we'll say, okay, this is kind of where we are. And, we might have a couple of guys that's still going to be close, but, we got to start honing in on the opponent, and we got to start getting ready. We can only take 80, so we got to start seeing, okay, well, who do we think that 80 is for this game, and then start repping that way. And once you get on the clock on Wednesday, you can't rep 3 groups. I mean, you got to make do with the time that you have. So, and we got a good plan for that. We have for a long time, but it just changes how you can practice.
Has anyone really stepped up in XT's absence right now?
We got 4 starters at DN, so I don't. That's why we didn't put a depth chart out. Because we don't. I don't care who runs out there first. Those guys are really good, and they can all play. So we're fortunate that we've got depth there. But XT and KJ and Maskell and Miles they're all starters at the position, just the way it is. So we got 3 starters still, so it knocks our depth down a little bit, but hey, it gives Swin a little more opportunity, and he's done a heck of a job for us.
What did you see from their quarterbacks today?
What's that?
The quarterbacks, how did you feel like
I thought they both, we really only rep 3, but I thought they both did some really good things, and then they both missed a couple of plays too. We had Cade, for example, had a really nice big play, and then took a sack. And again, that's purple jersey syndrome. Once he gets lit up for a couple times, he'll get rid of it. So took a sack in the red zone, and then had one bad decision that he'd like to have back. And then DJ, I thought, played actually pretty clean procedurally. He played very clean with his decision making. He had one play he'd like to have back, but procedurally and all that, he did a good job. Made a couple plays with his legs, and then Cade, he's a problem in the pocket because he's really, really fast, and it's just awesome, because he can really create, and it's good for Clemson, but it's also good for our defense, to see some speed like that, because he can really, really run. And I thought he made a couple of nice plays with his legs today. So that's, they did a good job. And then Hunter has been awesome. He's just a very veteran guy. The game's slow. He had one miscommunication, bad play, which was a pick. just him and the receiver not on the same page. But he has been really, really good all camp. And so, man, I'm as I've told y'all many times, we've never had a quarterback room like this. This is top to bottom the best room we've had of guys who can go play and win. So I'm really excited about the group, and good competition. They challenge each other, make each other better every day. And, they've got good ownership of what we're doing. There's still a lot of things we need to continue to these next 2.5 weeks to clean up, and then you got to go play. And you kind of see where you are and what you got to do to move forward.
What areas specifically have you noticed DJ's game progress? In the offseason, as you've seen now, and this more game like.
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is just his creativity. I mean, he's made a lot of plays with his legs in camp. I've told him 3, 4, 5 times, wouldn't have made that play last year, because he's just moving so much better, lots of confidence. So that's the number one thing. He's really done a good job there. And then secondly, his leadership. I mean, he's just been awesome. He has been an awesome leader, not just for the offense, but for the team. He's incredibly well respected. He's worked really, really hard on his timing, his fundamentals, his rhythm. He's not taking sacks. The biggest thing last year, with him was he took too many sacks and he turned the ball over. All right, and we those are two things that we can control. And there was a lot of those things that on him that he could have controlled. You're gonna have some misplays. You're gonna have a tip ball. You're gonna have guys drop a ball. Those are things that aren't necessarily always on him. Receiver runs the wrong route, whatever. But trying to do too much, taking sacks, holding the ball and then turning it over. Those are things we just can't have. And he's done a really, really good job. He's taking care of it. He's creating with his legs. He's not taking sacks, and he's just providing the type of leadership and fire that we need out there.
Cleaning up his game, working on the creativity. How much of that do you think is having a new coordinator that he's sort of exploring a different side of his game, either with Streeter? Obviously, he's familiar with him, but it's a slightly different relationship there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really any different. I mean, plays are plays. He's still coaching the plays. So whether he's been the passing game coordinator, so I mean, he's been intimately involved the whole time. So that really hasn't changed. I mean, he's from a coaching standpoint, he may call some things in a little different rhythm, but as far as the teaching and the preparation and the fundamentals, that really hasn't changed.
How do you feel like the quarterbacks are doing in terms of their reading the zone read and making right decisions there?
Oh, they're doing good. Yeah, we very, very few mistakes. I mean, with DJ and Kate, I mean, they're and Hunter. I mean, all three of those guys are really good decision makers, and we haven't been able to get Billy Wiles and Helms as many reps. They've gotten some, but we really mostly have been those three guys, and they're just. I mean, Hunter Johnson, he don't hardly ever miss. I mean, he's a very savvy guy, and DJ's the same way. DJ really sees it. Occasionally he'll have a gray area where you'll kind of coach him through that and say, okay, well, here's how we need to really see it. And then Cade, I mean, he's like on his 3rd or 4th time kind of going through the installation. It's just the game has slowed down for him. He didn't make a lot of mistakes like that. They're really sound in their decision making. So I'm pleased with all of that. We're running the football very well. We really focus more on passing game today. We really have. That's probably been one of the brighter spots for me is our receivers. I mean, we're holding our own, and we don't have that guy back yet, Adam. He's on his way back soon, and EJ's back in practice, but we held him today. He's looking great, but he got off to a good start, and then had the hematoma thing. So he's back rolling and should be full go starting tomorrow. And then Bo, hopefully he'll be back next week as well. So he's doing great. So we haven't had those 3 guys who are 3 starter guys for us. And the group has still held their own for the most part. So I'm pleased with what we've been able to do and the depth we've been able to create, and certainly getting getting those three guys back in the equation will be a big shot in the arm for us.
Can you talk about the decision to place Dominic Thomas on scholarship and how that movement was?
Well, I mean, he just made it easy. I mean, he made it easy. Hard to find a better back than that kid. He's a really good player. Y'all will see. He's low to the ground. He's hard to find. He's different. I mean, he's not going to break a 70-yarder, but he's going to bloody your nose. And I mean, you need all types of things, and he brings something to the room that's just a little unique. I mean, he is big and thick and strong, but he has got really good vision, really good hips, really good change of direction, and got some explosive power. I mean, he's just got a great feel for the game. He finds the soft spot and then he dents it. So he's a good addition for us and an awesome kid, and so certainly deserve it.
What are the specifics of the Xavier Thomas injury, as much as you can elaborate on that?
Yeah, he just got a foot injury, and he'll be back. Hopefully, I mean, I don't see him missing a whole lot of time, but he's certainly going to miss Georgia Tech, and then we'll go from there. But he's doing good. He's fired up yesterday, ready to go. So we had a great camp, and he's going to have a great year. Just a little setback for him. That's all.
Will Cade play early and try to get him some experience, or will DJ stay out there if he's playing?
No, DJ's the starter for sure, and this is where we are. So I mean, obviously he's got to go play well. He's got to. Just like anybody else, you got to go play well. But we certainly hope to get Cade as much opportunity as we can. That's something that we need to do. Just like we wanted to get DJ in as much as we could, as often as we could. Trevor's last year. DJ's going to graduate in December, and he's got big goals and aspirations, and he knows what he's got to do, and so he's just got to go do it. But hopefully we'll be able to get Cade as much opportunity as we can. But DJ's the starter; he's earned that, and it's up to him to continue to earn it every week.
Obviously, you're deeply familiar with both your new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, and I don't know if there's some value you see in hiring from within and promoting from within, but what's been different about working with them instead of Brent and Tony this last year?
Well, they're just different personalities. First of all, I mean, just like when I hired Tony to take Chad Morris's place. Those of you who knew Chad, obviously very different. But I have relationships with all those guys, and I think it's great to be able to hire from within if it's feasible, if it's the right fit, the right timing, and the right, need. And that's the case that we had here. So, Streeter, I mean, we're lucky Streeter's still here. I mean, he's turned down a bunch of jobs. He's turned down SEC coordinator jobs. He turned one down last year, and he's turned down NFL jobs. And he loves it here. He played here, and he knew Tony eventually would get an opportunity, and he really wanted to be the coordinator here. And but that's why we promoted him and made him passing game coordinator, and he's did a great job in that role. He coached Deshaun 2 years. He coached Trevor all 3 years. Recruited him. Recruited DJ. Recruited Cade. I mean, he's done a phenomenal job. So he deserved it. And so it's just that simple. And again, it's not always the case. And when I hired Brent, I didn't have a guy at the time that I felt like was ready to do it. And so this particular time, 10 years later, I had a guy. And so, that's great when it works out that way. But, it's been fun. Those guys have been awesome. I mean, we've got a great staff. And, but with Nick, even though he's brought him from the outside, I've never worked with Nick. But he's just awesome at what he does. It's just a bonus that he went to Clemson. And then same thing with Kyle. I hired Kyle to eventually get him on the field, and I just haven't ever had an opportunity really to get him on the field yet. So it worked out really good to be able to put him on the field as well. And it's been fun to watch watch him, take that next step that he's been hoping for.
What's been the progression of the tight end group from the start of fall camp to like these scrimmages?
Yeah, they've been really good. Davis Allen he's just a solid oak tree, man. Steady. He's a pro. He's the epitome of a pro. And how he handles himself, his commitment, his toughness. Everything about it. So I'm really pleased with him. Brenny's been awesome. This has been by far the best patch of Brenny that we've had. He's the best Brenning stool that he's been since he got here. Last year he was like a dang 2-year-old lab running around out there, crazy, and just wide open, 100 miles an hour, super talented, and then had to get bigger, had to get stronger, had a lot to learn, and then did some good things. I thought he finished well in the spring, and I think he carried that momentum into the summer. But he's had a really good camp. He's a really talented player, and he's done some really good things. So I feel great. Sage is kind of the same, man. As Dave's just very steady, tough, gritty. It's a good group. And then, nobody ever talks about Luke Price, but Luke Price has really made himself a good player. He's a guy that, man, it's short yardage and goal line. You want Luke Price in the game. He brings a lot of grit and toughness and incredible football IQ. This guy really, really knows the game and has worked really hard on all the aspects of playing tight end. So it's a good group. And then I'm gonna tell you, Josh Sapp, man, we hit a home run getting that kid. We're lucky to have him. He is a really good player. He's made a play every day, and he had a touchdown today to start the scrimmage off. So, he's just a probably a lot like his dad was. Just a diverse, savvy guy. You really study Josh Sapp. He's played everything from quarterback to tight end to receiver to running back to DN to linebacker. He's played a lot of things in his career, and he's a really good basketball player. So he's just a big athlete. This kid's 240 pounds and really soft hands, and he's hard to tackle. He's still learning, but it's a good group. It's a really good group, and I think they're poised to have a really good year for us.
Tyler Venables was talking yesterday about the emotional pull of your dad's at Oklahoma, but you want to say at Clemson. Did you have an idea of how hard that decision was going to be for him, and what does it say about him?
I thought it was. I'm sure it was hard. I thought he was going to go. I just kind of assumed. He and his dad are close, and I say, what are you going to do? And he's like, well, I'm staying. And I'm like, well, awesome. So I just I didn't want to assume anything, but I thought emotionally probably it would be. But Brent was even more excited, that he was staying, because Brent knows what we have here, and he knows the structure, and they're trying to get that, trying to build that, but you don't do that overnight. And he knows the people in our building and just what all he's exposed to. But plus he's T-Bone has got a lot of friends on this team. It's a really close team, a close group of guys, and man, he's probably been the most productive guy. I think he had 39 production points in the first scrimmage, and then showed up again today. He's just really playing well for us. It's good to see him healthy and flying around, and so yeah. I just assumed maybe that he might be gone just simply because of the emotional situation there, but no, he said, I'm staying. I said, I'm glad. And Jake's here. Jake's there. Jake's a student coach for us, so really glad Jake's here too.
He's been the most productive safety.
Yeah, production points. Yeah,
And
been really, really good.
With that receiver, with Bo and EJL, anyone that stepped up in particular that caught your eye?
I've been really pleased. I think Speck led us today in catches. He's had a really good camp. It's been awesome to see him be so consistent, practice every day. It's been a long time. He's just every day, just keep showing up. Dakari had a nice big play today. Dakari and Bo have a lot of starting experience for us. You know, I'm excited about Cole Turner. Really excited about him. I mean, he's going to be a really good player. Antonio's going to help us. I mean, he made a nice big play today. Will Taylor is just gets better every single day. You know, somebody's asked me about Will Taylor today, comparing him to Renfro, and I'm like, well, Renfro spent all fall as a walk-on scout teamer working on his craft, and then he spent all spring. You know, and Will Taylor didn't get any of that. He didn't get a fall, he didn't get a spring, and so he's literally like a true freshman out there. But every day he gets better. You know, and so it's just that we got a really good group, man. I mean, I'm super proud of them. And EJ, good to see him. We didn't scrimmage him today, but good to see him back out there yesterday, running around full speed. I mean, he's a really, really special talent. And then, but Joe's been great. Man, he ain't missed anything. He hadn't missed a rep. I think he had, you know, maybe a day right there where he just kind of came down and hit his head, and they just held him. But he's been awesome. He's been an excellent leader for us. And then, you know, it's a good group that, again, as I said, have held their own. You know, without Bo, without EJ, and without Adam. So, but we're trending in a good spot there.
There's still no bad snaps from Putnam.
Been excellent. Don't jinx him. We've been really, really good. All three of our centers have done a nice job. You know, this is rare. I mean, usually, you know, you get some of these dog days and it's tired, and somebody's hot, sweaty, will roll the ball back every now and then on, you know, A-gap blitz or something. It's been really good, and, you know. But I think it's just a sign of how hard they work this summer, because that's the type of stuff that you get done in the summer. You know, that's summer skills and drills. That's putting the work in when nobody's watching. So I'm really proud of our centers, but I'm super proud of Putnam, because he is as solid as they come.
I think it was Parks was telling us that he was a wrestler in high school, and that might help him as a center. I mean,
Yeah.
I think there is some.
Yeah, he's a wrestler and strong, and, you know, I remember going to Putnam's house. His dad's a career military guy, and they had this like a detached garage, and, you know, that wasn't it was just they just made it a weight room, and I'm looking for weights, and they had like concrete buckets, and like every day you get up and you carry the buckets to the end of the driveway and back, and, you know, and just, you know, he's built a little different, wired a little different, so I like that about him. He's become a heck of a leader for us, and just as tough as they come.
I think Coach Streeter said pre-snap intensity, he wanted to see that improvement from the first scrimmage.
Yeah,
today.
it was better with our first group. You know, again, we're repping a lot of people, and so sometimes, and then we had a few guys on some pitch counts, and so then you get some mixed people in there as far as continuity wise, and you can get off a little bit, but that was the thing I was most pleased about the 2 minute, you know, because I thought our tempo was really good rhythm, and a good example to them on, you know, tempo being your friend, what that can do for you. So again, though, there's some heavy legs out there. We've been going for a lot of days in a row now, and I could kind of see that a little bit. But what I like about them is they don't complain; they just keep pushing. So I love that about this team.
Riley Lucas at cornerback, how's it going? When do you think they might mix in first team?
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to help us. I mean, they're and that's what we needed them to do. We needed them to come in and help us. And Jay Lou's made some plays. It's been fun to see him out there healthy. You know, first time he's scrimmaged in a long time, because he didn't get to scrimmage in the spring. He's made plays. Toriano had an interception today. He's a very savvy kid. So yeah, there's those are two guys for sure that are going to help our team.
Very good. All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, appreciate it.